Hey.
Okay, thank you everyone for coming. As was just mentioned, I'm going to give you a quick introduction to Couchbase. So first of all, if you need the bathroom while you're here, it's just past the door that you came in through, opposite the lifts. There are drinks at the rack, and we'll have pizza coming for around halfway through the session. So I'm going to run you through what Couchbase is. It is the developer data platform for critical applications in our AI world. So what do we understand about the requirements of modern applications built today, and what have we learned from our customers? So on the customer side, there's a few key requirements. They demand great experiences for the end clients, whether that is having a personalized experience through the use of AI, or access everywhere, whether you're on your laptop or trying to use the application on the tube without good connectivity, have that application be available anywhere and everywhere. The Couchbase users expect to be able to develop quickly for their applications using their existing skills, and avoid data sprawl of using lots of complicated different technologies and having to understand and piece together all of them. And finally, they expect to be able to deploy efficiently on any platform in a cost-effective manner. So what do modern applications look like? Many applications today, as I'm sure you will all be aware, require AI capabilities, whether that is using vector search for semantic or similarity search, using LLMs to build chatbots or agentic applications. Modern applications will also have thousands or millions of users, and to go with that, a huge, huge amount of data and really high requirements for performance of that application. They might also require different types of platforms for deployment, whether that is on the web or mobile applications or support for IoT devices. Finally, there will still be some existing requirements that match the legacy type of applications. That might be more rigid data control, ACID transactions, storage efficiency, and consistency and integrity. So with that in mind, when it comes to modern applications, why do companies choose Couchbase? There are 4 key things that we see in the vast majority of our customers. One key one is performance. Performance at scale, whether you have just a few users or millions of users across huge amounts of data, providing really, really fast data access. Couchbase is incredibly strong when it comes to performance, and really that's the bread and butter of what Couchbase can achieve through a memory-first architecture and active clustering between clusters and within the nodes of your cluster. Secondly, flexibility. Whether that is flexibility in terms of how you deploy, self-managed on bare metal or Kubernetes, private cloud, public cloud, with the versatility that is offered through JSON documents, and the flexibility of the data structure while still being able to query using SQL++, so leveraging those existing skills that you might have from working with relational SQL, and additionally, that broad platform support for vector search. Thirdly, mobile and IoT applications. Couchbase across the entire platform supports deployment in the cloud and to the edge, meaning that any users that have or are using your applications at the edge with worse connectivity or more unreliable connectivity will still be able to use their applications through the on-device storage and peer-to-peer synchronization, meaning devices can replicate data between each other even when there is poor or no network connectivity to the central cluster. Finally, simplification. Taking those excessive resource usage requirements from antiquated designs and building lower cloud and operating costs in a modern database through multidimensional scaling and optimization of hardware depending on the different services that you're using. Let's look at a couple different use cases. One key one is LinkedIn. So when we're looking at the performance side of things, LinkedIn do over 10 million operations per second across hundreds of millions of users with a really large data volume. So they use Couchbase for key value access and for caching, and they're able to get great speeds across those millions and millions of operations per second. On the other side of things, we also have that mobile and edge use case with Carnival cruises. So every person who attends a Carnival cruise is given an ocean medallion that stores data about their preferences and can offer them a much better end customer experience through that connectivity provided at the edge. And finally, I'll talk quickly about Domino's Pizza, who use Couchbase for operational analytics, meaning they can perform real-time analytics without any complicated ETL process by using the broad platform of services provided within Couchbase, supporting both operational and analytical use cases. So looking at this, I'm sure we've all seen an architecture that looks a little bit like this, where you're using lots of different technologies or services to achieve particular functionalities, whether that's Redis for caching, another database for vector search capabilities, bringing in another tool for full text search, then trying to include something if you want to push your application out to be supported on mobile, while also keeping a NoSQL or relational database at the core. There's a lot of complexity that's introduced here, whether that is through cost or security vulnerabilities of working with multiple different technologies, or the financial cost of licensing all of these, or the cost that is incurred by developers needing to learn and understand all of these different technologies to be able to use them to their full extent. So Couchbase aims to encompass all of these in a single platform. So as I mentioned, Couchbase has an integrated cache and is a distributed document database. So those two things are kept at the core, and that's how we're able to achieve great speed and great performance at scale through that integrated cache. But over time, we've also built out lots of additional functionalities on top of that, whether that is SQL++ for querying, or full text search for natural language or geospatial or vector search, or columnar storage for analytical, real-time analytical querying without any ETL. If there is anything here that you're interested in or you think might be relevant to an application you're working on, please feel free to come and chat with myself or any of my colleagues at the back of the room during the breaks today. And I'll happily expand on any of this, as there's a lot here and I don't have time to go into all of it right now. So at the end of the day, how is Couchbase architected for your modern applications, whether or not they have AI requirements? So one key thing is that there is no requirement for an additional vector database. Couchbase supports vector search natively, whether that's in the cloud, on-prem, or even on your offline first mobile applications. We have proven speed and flexibility with many of our customers using Couchbase for key mission-critical applications, and over 30% of the Fortune 100 using Couchbase for mission-critical applications. We have vector search across all of our products, whether that is on-prem, in the cloud, or on mobile or IoT devices. Above that, we also have an existing broad platform of capabilities, whether that's your SQL++ querying, support for graph querying, real-time analytics, full text search, geospatial search. There's an existing strong broad platform of capabilities. And finally, other ecosystem integrations. So these are just a couple of the AI-based ecosystem integrations, but we also have integrations for many other different technologies as required. So as mentioned, we will have a raffle at the end. We have here a speaker and some pop heads. So if you want to enter that, there's a QR code here, and there are also a few printed out scattered around the room. So feel free to scan that and enter now. Just give you a moment to scan that. And finally, just some other next steps. Like I said, you can come speak to myself or any of my colleagues, but we also have a meetup group, Discord if you want to ask any questions, and a free Capella tier. So if you want to actually have a go with Couchbase, we have our managed service Capella with a free tier, and you can also download the community edition locally and run it on your own laptop, whichever you would like. Thank you all for listening briefly, and I hope you enjoy the rest of today's session.